Greetings! I don't know if you can hear me over the absolute shrieking going on outside with the seagulls. It must be a dead rat they're fighting over or something. And as soon as the sun comes up, they just go crazy at the crack of dawn, which is absolutely not when this is. I've been lazing around all morning, feeling like a pile of deuce. Because I have to close the restaurant this week. Very sad. When the lights go down on the city. That's my best Chris Stapleton impression. I went down a rabbit hole, a wormhole, a black hole, whatever you want to call it, of his stuff. It's so frustrating to look at somebody like that who just... it might just be him and his la guitarra. And you know what I mean? He just playing one or two, sometimes not even chords, he just one or two notes. Oh, and he has that kind of scream that he does and barely opens his mouth. He could sing about anything. She put the chicken on me. She put the chicken on the plate. And only he could really sound like that. And I guess I'm saying I am jealous. But that's okay too. Boy, oh boy. Yeah. The world is not for me. I realize this. Every generation that goes past their time, you can make a couple choices. You can complain, like our parents did. Yeah, the kids today, this and that. Or you can just accept it. I realize the last couple of years I've been complaining about everything. But I realize what I'm really complaining about is the fact that the world is not built for me anymore. Who is it built for? It's built for the kids. Gen Z. Right? It's built for them. It's for them now. It's their playground. So they get to pick the music that's on the TV and they get to wear the clothes. And that's just how it is. I'm an old man, right? I'm an old man. In today's terms, young and healthy. But the kids would say I'm old. And I think I had the best generation. The 90s. I love everything. I could love Creed. I could also love A Tribe Called Quest. I could love Damian Marley. I could love Bob Marley. You know what I mean? I could love Nickelback. And also love Atmosphere. Or Run DMC. Or Run the Jewels. Run the Jewels. Run the Jewels. I could like Buju Banton. Over hills and valleys too. He's a little bit, if you follow his Instagram, he has some opinions. And he don't mind telling you. Whew. You know what I mean? I like everything. I like all that shit from the 90s. The 80s, terrible time for music, unless we're talking about pop music. I never really liked all the hair metal bands and all that kind of shit. I just did not. Metallica, Pantera, a couple of exceptions there of real hard shit. But all the girls. I just didn't get it. And when I was young, I thought, what is the... What? These men getting girls? All right. You know? And I grew up in Trinidad, which is a very homophobic place. So when those fellas came on with their tight clothes and their makeup and shit, I wasn't really around. I was in the 90s, but every time you see videos with them things, I would look and think, this is terribly gay. And there's nothing wrong with that, except it wasn't, and I was just homophobic because of where I came from. Trinidad is the only place that is the most homophobic place in the world. Well, when I was growing up, much better now. We're talking about 30 years now. Most homophobic place in the world. And for a couple of days out of the year, the gayest place on planet Earth. The gayest by a mile. Carnival. Okay? Just, if you take some time, look back through all of the most flamboyant things that Elton John has worn. And just imagine that there are 2 days a year in Trinidad where everybody dresses like that. This is no exaggeration. Man, woman, and child. People in the gym 3-4 months before trying to get ripped because they had to take their shirts off and jump up for carnival. Wine and a wine and a wine and a wine and a wine. There's a whole genre of music devoted entirely to those 2 days a year. Although there's parties leading up to the months before. Some excellent parties. Shout out to Soca, my boy. But yeah, we used to be younger and, pretending we fucking bad and fighting people and thinking we're tough. But when Carnival came around, everybody in the jewels, everybody in the headbands with feathers, bro, sequins, right? Things coming across, belly chains made of sequins and body glitter, bro. Throw some more body glitter on my back there, please. What? And to us, everything was gay. So when heavy metal came out in the 80s, I guess if you're around, you didn't really see it. But by the time I came around in the 90s and saw that, I thought I was, so stupid to be grown up in a place like that. We used to get into fights. Imagine a grown man, whose body is greased down, glistening, like a pig in the Philippines. Ready to get that chicharron, right? Feathers, beads, shells, hanging from everywhere. Armbands, feathers, Elton John, Liberace, you know what I mean? And you trying to start fights with people. With that man watching me so, boy. While wearing these clothes. What are you talking about? The gayest place on earth for 2 days in a row. I don't even think any of them other places like Rio or whatever, their carnival is fine, but ours is best. We invented it. That's what I'm going to say. So yes, somehow completely homophobic when we grew up. And then, but it's just, 2 days a year is feathers and beads and things hanging off and, you know what I mean? And the whining. Man, woman, child, how they could move their waist. I just, you know what I mean? You try to resist it, in your early teens. You try to resist moving your waist, but then the music just gets you try to play it cool, but eventually that chakata do chakatuta finally it gets into your bones and you just sort of jiggle your waist, boy, and all of a sudden you look down and somebody has implanted several ball bearings into your waist and you could rotate it like a clock. Everybody, when I say everybody in Trinidad could move their waist better than Shakira. That's to tell you. It's just, so that's where I came from. So I didn't like that heavy metal based on appearances. And the music was also kind of limp, I found. And by the time, Nirvana and Rage Against the Machine and Pearl Jam and then came down. It was just so heavy, boy. Heavy. You know what I mean? I still remember listening to that stuff. You always have the cooler older cousin who introduces you to that stuff, And I had good, one sibling, couple of siblings there who were into good stuff. But, so the world isn't built. It isn't built for me anymore. I am an old man. When I look at young ladies now, how they dress in how my father used to dress in the 90s. Ill-fitted jeans. Up way too high. Okay? The baggy shirts, the baggy tops, and the sneakers that look like they have some kind of support for maybe a kind of back issue, some kind of light bit of scleroceal situation. And I just don't. So this is, I was complaining. I was like, God, what do people dress? I was telling my wife, I said, God, they don't dress. You know what I mean? They just all dress like something that's somebody who has dressed like that before. But I realized it's not for me. The world is not for me anymore. And if you're listening to this, and if the Spotify stats are right, it's also not built for you anymore. Because you're old. You're an old piece of shit like me. We're young. We tell ourselves we're young. We look in the mirror. We do 100 push-ups in the morning. No problem. But we're getting old. So the world is not for us anymore. And I have to remember that. Otherwise, I'll go crazy. Because I realize I'm complaining too much. These past couple of years, I complain about everything. The music and the thing and the whatever. I just had to stay in my lane and live my life. And reach out to my people. Remember back in the days, boy? Remember back in the days, you go to a party. The jeans would be so low, it'd be flirting with the crack, the top of the woman's behind the crease. The good old days will never return. Old man, take a look at my life. I'm a long way down. That has nothing to do with anything. It's over. All right? We had a good run. Now let's let the other youths have a good time. What are the defining characteristics of that generation? I would have to say making several different types of heart shapes with your hands and or fingers is one. That's a hard line between millennial and Generation Z. And nothing else. So if I have children and they are kind of like young, are they Gen Z or are they some whole other thing? Because if Gen Z in their 20s, my kids are younger, I don't worry about them. I don't worry about them at all. I think they're so kind and nice and they don't say horrible things to each other. And they fight and that kind of stuff, but oh my Lord, remember the fights when you were younger with your friends or with your siblings? Holy Lord. Not fun at times. Made you who you are. But I think that was the last of it. Hopefully our generation, cuts off some of the toxic traits of our forefathers. Yep. Another thing which is interesting is that I just have to say it. There's still a war in the Middle East. What is going on? It's not so much a war. I guess it's a genocide. I don't even like saying that word because it grosses me out so much. And we have let it go under our watch. But dang, boy, watching those babies, that's a hard thing. That is a hard thing. Me and my wife, we try to be good people and look at the videos so it ruins our day. So at least the guilt makes us feel a bit better. But holy Lord, what are we doing? What are we doing? And there's nobody usually all of the kind of Hollywood crew, let's say, they are usually the ones who are shouting out about, difference, injustice. Doesn't seem to be happening this time around. And, I just have to think that I was too hard on Kanye. Oh, good. Good thing this podcast has 4 listeners. Otherwise, that would be the canceling moment right there. Kanye, I feel like he's just, He's just like, I told you. They're controlling the shit. I told y'all. No, I try to tell y'all. I shut my mouth and I made these sneakers and then I tried to tell y'all and you sent me away. So who knows what's going to happen there. The other interesting thing in the news, still going on, the Jeffery Epstein list. And the even more curious thing is people on the list, they just get a pass. They go in hard on poor old Wheels. What was his name? Stephen Hawking. Oh, Lord, they're going hard on him. Lordy, the means. I have to say, the internet, I love you. Excellent job. All the people out there who are digging through trillions of hours of movies and TV shows to find all the scenes with wheelchairs in it and then trying to turn that into comedy gold. Very good job. You're doing well. The interesting thing is that you could just be on a list of somebody who chill on a pedophile island and that's it. You know what I mean? Well, no wrongdoing. I wasn't there on the child pedophile week. I was there on Scuba week. Obviously, everybody knew that the end of March was Scuba week, okay? The beginning of April was the pedophile week, but I was not there for that week. Right? Okay, maybe when I was getting off the plane, they were getting on and it looked kind of sketchy, but I mean, there could have been anybody. I was there for Scuba week and Magic week. David Copperfield was there, don't forget. For Magic week, David Copperfield, it seemed like a slithering kind of, you know what I mean, a serpent. The magic already, you don't trust these people. But that's a whole other level. That is a whole other level. I mean, Bill Clinton, he is like Neo in the Matrix. The way he's just dodged the bullets. I mean, it's impressive. They have that body count. You ever see those conspiracy theories? The Clinton body count? I think it's like 17 people close to them who have committed suicide. 3 plane crashes. Let me say that again for the people in back. 3 plane crashes. No, hold on. Let me back up, actually. One of the crashes is the Kobe Bryant helicopter crash, which that is not true. That one is not related. He said something about, Hillary Clinton going to jail. He never said that. So they blew up his helicopter. So that's 2. Only 2 crashes. People close by to him. Aides, advisors, White House staff, people who try to sue them. Lots of suicide. One guy shot himself with a shotgun and the gun ended up 30 feet away. So they have a body count there. And I guess if you are touching children, you have to get rid of the bodies. Otherwise, you can't go to jail. No, you and your family have to run the country into the ground. And the country I'm talking about is America. I don't like American politics in the sense that I'm not invested. I do love it because it's like a soap opera. You have that old man jingle jangling on top of there. Looks like he's answering, "Hi, everybody. John, well. How long is he going to last? How long are they going to let this? I mean, he looks like he has the mind of a child at this point. How long are they going to let this man out there? Is he campaigning? I think he's campaigning. Oh, my God. I would just, if I had a chance to speak to Biden, I would just say, listen, your son's in a mess. Give him a hug. Tell him it's okay. He did all that fentanyl or whatever. And that it's okay that he spent all the money that I gave him through my Ukraine connections. It's okay. You hug him and you say it's okay. You say it's okay. You forgive. And just live your life. You know what I mean? Just, go out on the ranch, get a picture book and flip through all the horrible things you've done while you were in Congress. And I'm sure you did some good things. I have no idea. But forgive and forget, everyone. Forgive and forget. That is all for this week. Catch me next week when I discuss whatever it is I'd like to discuss.